Stay frosty and head over to easymutt.com for the cheapest mutt coins on the market. And when I say cheapest, I mean it. We're talking 1 million coins for around 40 bucks. Use code DIRECTOR for 5% off. Yo, what up, brothers? What's up? It's the Director. Chargers fans, it is Raiders week, baby. I know me, as well as a lot of other fans, this is one of our favorite weeks of the year. We get them twice a year, and the Chargers this time have the opportunity to go down to Las Vegas, to the home of the Raiders, and take down Las Vegas in their home turf. But this game's going to be different from other Raiders weeks that we've experienced as Chargers fans, because it could hold a very significant milestone for Justin Herbert in breaking the all-time touchdown record for a rookie quarterback, currently held by Baker Mayfield at 27. Justin Herbert currently has 25 touchdowns. If he can score 3 touchdowns Thursday night in primetime versus the Vegas Raiders, he could be the new record holder. And I don't think it could be any more ceremonious for Justin Herbert and Chargers fans. Sure, it's been a really tough year for Bolts fans, but watching Justin Herbert turn into the quarterback of the future for this team, watching him break so many milestones and break so many records, it's absolutely amazing to watch for Chargers fans. So I think Justin Herbert is absolutely up to the challenge, and I think underneath the lights of Thursday Night Football, it would make it that much more entertaining. Come on, Justin Herbert, you got this. Now, there's a couple more things to look into this game with. We have already played the Vegas Raiders once this year, so we kind of know their tendencies against us. We kind of know some of the things to watch out for when it comes to their defense. What can we take and learn from in our first matchup, coming back at them in our second matchup, this time not at home in their home turf in Vegas? I'm also hearing some Chargers fans a little bit concerned about the injury report this week. We're going to show it here in a minute, and yes, it's a little bit concerning, but I do want to break that down and kind of give you guys an idea of what's actually going on. But we've got a lot to unpack in this video, guys, so let's get going with it. Before we do get started, though, guys, as a reminder, our Derwin James jersey, signed jersey giveaway is still going on right now. We're going to be pulling a winner here in the next week or so. This thing is awesome, man. All you got to do to enter is hit up the link in the description, all the instructions there, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And that's it. I hope this goes to a good home. This is a thank you to you guys for all the support you've had with me in this season. Super excited going into next year. Good luck. Merry Christmas. And secondly, the Join My Crew campaign is still going on right now as well, guys. If you guys want to join my crew and get benefits like custom emojis, members only chat, and getting your names in the end credits of my videos, check out the join button underneath this video or in the top right corner of my channel page. Again, guys, thank you so much for all the support and everything you guys do. With that, let's get into this video. Before we do get started, hit us up with a like and sub if you do enjoy this Chargers content. The small amount of time you guys take to hit the like, sub, and bell notification helps me out a lot. Let's get into this video. Lights, camera, action. It is Raiders week, and the 4-9 Chargers are going down to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders in a game that holds a lot of stakes statistically for our rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert. But before we really dive deep into it, I do want to show you guys something kind of interesting that happened last night, something that a lot of people were tagging me about on Twitter and commenting about here on YouTube. It's about the Chargers draft position. Now, I haven't refreshed this page since yesterday. As of yesterday, the Chargers had the number 5 pick. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page live with you guys here. After the Ravens took down the Cleveland Browns, for whatever reason in the algorithm, this pushed the Chargers up to the number 4 pick. So just keep that in mind, Chargers fans. We've had some luck on our side these last couple of days. Luck that we're not used to seeing. The Chargers got the win, and not only did we maintain draft position order, but it turns out we did go up a spot. So right now the Chargers at the number 4 pick. We are 4-9, been a tough season. Past couple of days though, you got to recognize the kind of luck that's been coming our way and keep hoping for more. Hopefully we see some more luck. We maintain good draft position, and maybe we can still get a win versus the Raiders as well. That would be something for Chargers fans this year. And I can't even tell you guys how excited I am to start making videos via the draft. I can't tell you guys how many players I've been looking into, how many different scenarios I've been coming up with in my head. ahead, lots of trade down stuff. We'll be getting into all of the offseason, draft predictions and draft profiles and stuff videos here in the next couple of weeks. We're winding down in the 2020 season. 2021 offseason is about to begin, and boy, are there some fun videos to make in that time. So let's get into this week 15 matchup. Wow, this year's absolutely flown by when it comes to football. Everything else, nah, it took its time. Now, one thing that has Chargers fans definitely concerned is the injury report this week for week 15. All right. You guys are going to see a lot of names on here. I'm going to tell you guys not to panic, okay? We'll list a couple of the big ones that maybe are a bit concerning. We got Nat Satterley in there, Keenan Allen, Brian Bulaga, Austin Eckler, Chris Harris, Hunter Henry, Denzel Perry. We got a lot of guys on here. Mike Williams, Trey Turner down here as well. There's a lot of players on here. Some of them did not practice. I think the only one that got a limited practice was Cole Mazza right there. So, yeah, we got some concerning names here in the injury report, but I'm going to tell you guys, as a reminder, we're coming into a short week for the Chargers. The Chargers played on Sunday. We only have a couple of days to prepare for the Raiders on Thursday Night Football. So when I see this, it's kind of good news and bad news. The good news is a lot of these guys probably didn't practice as far as getting some rest in before the short week game coming up on Thursday. So you can almost consider, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, all of these guys are just kind of taking a breather to make sure they're fully recovered before Thursday's game. Again, it is a short week, so that is most likely the issue here. The bad news is, however, if there is something like serious going on, like the things I see here, like the concussion protocol for Brian Bulaga, that's not good. That could take a while. He might still be stuck in concussion protocol by Thursday, so that's something to keep an eye on. Mike Williams has been having some serious back issues this season, something to keep an eye on. Trey Turner has an injury with his neck/eye. I don't know what that's about. Eye injuries, that's got to be scary. We don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. But again, a lot of these are probably just precautionary, okay? The guys that I'm concerned, that would really hamper our odds here on Thursday. Keenan Allen had a little bit of a hamstring thing. He didn't come in after I think it was like the last 2 drives of the game. We still won, but he seemed fine on the sidelines. Hopefully a couple of days he'll be good to go on Thursday. Austin Eckler, I don't know, man. We'll have to sit and wait and see. So this is something I'm going to ask of you guys in the comments section below. The Tuesday injury report hasn't been released yet. Wednesday hasn't been released yet. So I will be putting a pinned comment on this video, trying to keep up with some of the guys to keep an eye on. But you guys in the comment section as well, keep us up to date, keep us informed on what's going on with this injury report as we get closer to Thursday. That being said, let's take a look at the Raiders injury report as well. They have a lot of guys in here. Again, the ones that I kind of put asterisks next to, at least for me, are the guys in concussion protocol. Jonathan Abram, Damon Arnett right here. He's pretty good, actually. He's been pretty good this season too, as far as I know. And Nicholas Moreau also in concussion protocol. All these other guys, they're probably in the same boat as we are. This is probably precautionary resting in preparation for a short week. So, I mean, other guys that might be, I don't know. I don't pay as much attention to the Raiders as I do the Chargers, but a lot of these guys with these like ankles and groin injuries and, calf injuries, stuff like that, they're probably just on the injury report because they're trying to get a little bit of rest in before Thursday's game. But again, this is something to keep an eye on before Thursday's game, okay? This video is coming out a lot more earlier than it normally does because it is a short week, so we don't have a really good, full picture of the injury report yet. So keep an eye on that. That could be a pretty big thing coming into Thursday if we're missing a couple pieces, or vice versa. The Raiders might be missing a couple pieces as well. So let's get into some of the details of this game. Of course, we have played the Raiders once before this year. We do have a lot of experience and knowledge and tape on what to do against the 2020 Raiders. But what I'm also interested in is how Justin Herbert has performed previously in primetime football. So what I'd like to do is take a look at the previous primetime game that Justin Herbert did play. This is what ended up happening. This was our Sunday Night Football game versus the New Orleans Saints. The Chargers lost 27-30. Kind of a heartbreak. We're not strangers to heartbreaking losses here as Los Angeles Chargers fans. But what I'm interested in is how did Justin Herbert do in primetime, okay? I'm looking for signs on, can Justin Herbert keep up for the yardage record, which right now he needs 908 yards, 3 touchdowns to break both of those records, okay? He's going to need to average somewhere around 308 yards per game to keep him on pace for that. Is that something he's capable of doing versus the Raiders and in primetime football? We're looking for signs and clues here. Now, make no mistake, I think the Saints have been one of the better teams when it comes to not letting quarterbacks get that many yards or that much productivity out of quarterbacks this season. So that being considered, Justin Justin Herbert had a really good game in his last primetime outing with 264 yards and 4 touchdowns with 0 interceptions. This was quite the outing for Justin Herbert. On the opposite side, our defense did give up 325 yards, 1 touchdown, and did force a pick, though. So Chargers red zone defense, pretty good, only allowing 1 score, but we did give up 325 yards to Drew Brees. Also, keep in mind, last time in our last primetime game, we did not have Austin Eckler. We were running with Justin Jackson, who had a pretty decent day. Joshua Kelly also had a pretty decent day. But with Austin Eckler, things could turn out just a little bit different. And of course, Mike Williams, a huge contributing factor to that really high statage for Justin Herbert last primetime game with 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. Very good outing for him. Keenan Allen, I fully expect to be more involved in this primetime game. So the last time Justin Herbert played under the lights, he scored 4 touchdowns, got close to 300 yards. That's a good sign. But what about last time Justin Herbert played up against the Raiders? Let's take a look at the last matchup we had. This was at home versus the Raiders, so definitely things could change up just a little bit, and the Chargers have a little bit more tape on the Raiders and vice versa, the Raiders on Justin Herbert specifically. So we're looking for clues once again, okay? Last time we played the Raiders, Justin Herbert threw 2 touchdowns, but threw for over 326 yards, okay? Derek Carr had a lot of trouble with us. A couple of big breaking plays here. We had rushing by Booker. We had Josh Jacobs, who absolutely went off. I think he was a little hobbled this last Sunday, but, you know, give me an update in the comment section if you guys have heard anything. And then receiving is where I saw a lot of issues with Casey Hayward in our secondary. Nelson Aguilar popped off for one. Hunter Renfrow popped off for a 53-yard catch versus Casey Hayward. It was pretty bad out there. And then Darren Waller with 5 receptions was tough to stop, but he didn't get very many yards. He did get the touchdown, though. So that's something to keep an eye out on. Okay, so Justin Herbert, 326 and 2 touchdowns. What I'm trying to determine here is what the realistic ceiling is for Justin Herbert in this game, okay? Because a lot of us definitely rooting for Justin Herbert to beat that record. Is it possible right now? We're going to take the averages between Justin Herbert versus the Raiders, throwing for over 326 yards, and Justin Herbert versus the Saints, who threw for only 264 yards, but 4 touchdowns. So this, to me, tells me that if Justin Herbert has, you know, a kind of average day versus the Raiders in primetime football, I'm hoping that he can get somewhere over 300 yards, maybe like 305 yards, 306 yards, and 3 touchdowns is what we're really hoping for. The numbers are here. Hopefully, you know, the circumstances allow him to put up the yardage he needs to stay on pace to break the all-time yardage record by a quarterback, but also the 3 touchdowns is what gets me very excited. Only 2 touchdowns allowed through the air for the Raiders last time. Hopefully this time we see 3 touchdowns through the air versus the Raiders and a good amount of yards through the air for Justin Herbert as well. And again, the difference between now and last time is we were rocking with Kalen Ballage last time, who had, again, a pretty good day, 69 yards and a touchdown, 15 carries. The Chargers really tried to carry the ball quite a few times last time versus the Raiders, going for 31 attempts for 128 yards and a touchdown. Now, in retrospect, that's all right. You know, that's not a terrible day, as I'll make sure to scroll up so you guys can see that number. Not a terrible day, but at the same time, maybe a little bit more balance. How many passes did Justin Herbert attempt? 42. Okay, so 42 pass attempts to 31 run attempts. That seems pretty balanced to me. But again, the big difference right now is that Kalen Ballage is going to be our backup, and Austin Eckler is going to be the primary runner for this squad. And last week, Austin Eckler did have a pretty decent week. Last week versus the Atlanta Falcons, Austin Eckler 15 for 79, no score, but still pretty nice. So I'm kind of thinking the same thing's going to happen. We're probably going to run the ball for anywhere between 25 and 35 times, or maybe 31 or 32 times, somewhere around there, trying to stay more balanced, but in the favor of the passing game. And hopefully the Chargers, you know, really think about Justin Herbert, his ability to carve up the Raiders, which we've seen in the past, his ability to put up points versus the Raiders, no interception last time versus the Raiders. I'm hopeful that they're seeing all of these stats and they're saying, okay, so our best shot to beat the Raiders is Justin Herbert. The numbers that he put up last time, the tape that he put up last time was really good. Obviously, he did miss quite a few passes too, only 28 for 42. But hopefully now that he's gotten more, you know, experience under his belt, he's been checking down a lot more often, getting the ball into Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler's hands. That is something that I think is pretty pivotal to beating any team in the NFL. If they're going to take away the deep ball, make sure you get it into the hands of your playmakers. They can take it the distance at any given time, okay? I do think Keenan Allen is going to be probably the most important player outside of Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert this week. Now, Austin Eckler, I think, is important because I don't know how susceptible this team is to receiving backs. But if you take a look down here, Justin Herbert was hitting Joshua Kelly 5 times for 31 yards last time. And this is Joshua Kelly we're talking about. He hit Kalen Ballage for 2 passes, 2 receptions, 15 yards. And you got to keep in mind that he did miss one of his targets as well. Okay, Gabe Neighbors got a target for 4 yards. This is how many receptions to the halfback position. And these are guys that, although Kelly was good at some points in the year, Ballage is okay at some points in the year in the receiving game, they are not Austin Eckler. And we've seen what this team can do with receiving backs that aren't specialized in that department. So Austin Eckler, we can fully expect to see at least 7 or 8 receptions, because that's what the Chargers were doing last time versus the Raiders. But I think every reception carries more value in the hands of Austin Eckler. So I really am hopeful that Austin Eckler can really pop off versus the Raiders. You know, he had a really good week last week as well. Here with the Falcons, 79 yards on the ground and 67 yards through the air, 9 receptions. Something to keep in mind about Austin Eckler as well is that 9 receptions, 9 targets. He very rarely drops a pass. So that's why I think the Chargers should really look at the pairing of Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler this matchup, because we did see a lot of yards given up to the halfback position through the pass last week. There's no reason to think that Austin Eckler couldn't do an even better job with those receptions in week 15. Beginning, you have to also keep in mind how well Justin Herbert moved the ball with his receivers. Keenan Allen, 9 for 103 and a touchdown, a long of 27. Mike Williams, this is kind of the trend I'm trying to show you guys here. A long for 27, a long for 23. Ty Johnson, a long for 50. Okay, these guys, the Raiders, are definitely susceptible to the deep pass. What we saw last week versus the Atlanta Falcons was that they're doing everything they can to take away the deep bomb. Maybe the Raiders try to do the same thing this week, but it didn't pan out well for the Atlanta Falcons. So maybe they try a different approach. If they give us the opportunity to go deep, I think Justin Herbert is due another one of his classic, signature bombs down the field to maybe Johnson or Guyton. But there's a couple of guys on this roster that have been carving up the Raiders for a long time. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Hunter Henry. All of these guys, man, they're experienced versus this opponent. I do fully expect Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, and Justin Herbert to have a really solid day versus the Raiders statistically. The question is, do the Chargers let it happen? Do the Chargers allow Justin Herbert to get close to those records via their play calling and decisions? We're gonna have to wait and see. It's a little bit tricky. We've seen some improvement with Anthony Lynn via special teams and stuff like that, but when it comes to play calling and clock management and stuff like that, it's still very underwhelming. Very, very hopeful. Very, very hopeful that something happens with Justin Herbert. He finds a rhythm again. He finds some confidence after taking a win, versus Atlanta, and he puts up the kind of numbers he needs to stay on pace. Because remember, if he puts up under 300 yards, it's going to be that much tougher when he's going up against his last couple opponents, one of them being Denver, the other one being Kansas City, both of which have pretty decent defenses. He needs somewhat of a boost right now. Now, as far as our defense is concerned, Carr really struggled last time. 13 for 23, 165 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hopefully, we kind of know how to handle him. The Chargers seem to have, a beat on him, but hopefully being in Vegas doesn't, give him the confidence to break out of that mold. Rushing is where we really have to be concerned here, though. Booker, 8 for 68 and a touchdown. Jacobs, 14 for 65 and a touchdown. Carr kind of, took off his legs a couple of times, and then Ruggs took, like a wide receiver run or something like that. So 160 yards given up against the Raiders on the ground last time. We need to improve on that number this time, guys. It's looking really bad for the Chargers against the run. Of course, we got to keep an eye on the health of Josh Jacobs, but they kind of proved last time they played us that they don't need Josh Jacobs to run the ball down our throats, because they used Devontae Booker, who's not the best running back in the league. It just kind of goes to show how weak the Chargers are versus the run. So that's kind of what I would expect from the Raiders this week. A lot of running. Derek Carr wasn't great in the pass against us last time. I'm sure he's still going to get opportunities, but the run game saw a lot of success with 2 touchdowns and 160 yards. In the past, the Chargers defense, Hunter Renfrow, he only had 2 receptions, but 1 went for 53 yards. I can't believe I live in a world where I'm like, we have to watch out for Hunter Renfrow in deep coverage, but I think Casey Hayward, his struggles recently have kind of forced us into thinking that way. So hopefully we have, somebody out there that can keep an eye on Renfrow. But there's two other guys that I think are more concerning for the Chargers. The biggest one being Darren Waller. I'm hoping that maybe our best cornerback this year in Michael Davis takes a lot of the responsibilities in covering Darren Waller. And then Nelson Aguilar, we're going to need somebody fast back there that's not going to get burned, whether that's Chris Harris Jr. or Casey Hayward. I don't know if I'm super confident in either one of them, but I'm pretty worried about him breaking off for another deep touchdown. We've seen deep touchdowns against the Chargers all season long. I'm definitely worried about Nelson Aguilar and Derek Carr, who's been taking shots lately. Now, the last couple things I will mention are the Chargers' special teams. Hopefully, things are looking a little bit better. You guys remember last time KJ Hill did lose a fumble on special teams during a return. That was an absolute gut punch. And I think a lot of things came down to our special teams that game, if I'm remembering correctly. So hopefully the Chargers special teams unit is a little bit more well-tuned and oiled underneath Anthony Lynn, and his micromanaging in that unit. And the Chargers don't cost themselves the win here because of a silly mistake like that. But honestly, we have to wait and see. We haven't had the best luck in that department this year. With all that being said, you guys ready for my Week 15 score prediction? Chargers 24, Raiders 28. I think the Raiders are going to be pretty tough to take down at home, but hopefully all those points scored by the Chargers are through the air, thus giving Justin Herbert the all-time rookie passing touchdown record. Either way, guys, Chargers fans, tune in on Thursday. There's nothing like primetime Chargers football. It just hits a little bit different. I'm super excited to see how this game comes together. Guys, remember, the numbers that you're looking for this game, for Justin Herbert to get that much closer to beating the yardage record and maybe even beating the touchdown record, if he throws 3 touchdowns, which he threw 2 against the Raiders, and then the last primetime game 4 against the Saints, if he throws 3 touchdowns, he's the new all-time record holder for touchdowns by a rookie quarterback. That would be something to witness on Thursday. If he puts up around 300-ish yards, 308 yards, he will still be on pace to beat the all-time rookie yardage record as well, currently held by Andrew Luck. And again, last time he threw for 326 yards. So those are the numbers to keep an eye for on Thursday night. So in the comment section below, guys, let me know some of the things you guys are keeping an eye out for during this game versus Raiders in Las Vegas in Raiders Week. Which players are you most concerned about? Maybe on our defense, maybe on our offense. The Chargers offensive line not looking great. We might not have Bulaga. We might not have Trey Turner again. Is this something that the Chargers can handle? Can Justin Herbert put up the numbers he needs while running for his life? Then equally as concerning to me on defense, can this defensive backcourt contain Derek Carr like they did last time, and hopefully not letting those deep bombs, Nelson Aguilar, maybe even Hunter Renfrow? The guy I'm most concerned about, Darren Waller, hopefully we get a beat on him with Michael Davis or something. Well, guys, that's all I got for today's video. If you did enjoy this content, hit us up with a like and sub on your way out. Make sure to check out the links in the description for the giveaway for the Derwin James jersey, and maybe perhaps joining my crew if you want to see your name in the end credits of my videos. Good luck to the Chargers this Thursday, Raiders Week, baby. Let's go to their home turf and take them down. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This has been The Director. We'll see you next time, and as always, bolt up and stay frosty.